That down, guys. Let's move on to our next topic here, shall we? Paris, what do we got up next?
Yeah, so the annual Comic-Con is upon us as hundreds of thousands of pop culture fans flood to San Diego. However, the convention's time in San Diego may be coming to an end after 2025, as convention representatives point to hotel price gouging as a prime reason they're now considering moving the convention to another city. So, John, what do you think of Comic-Con's comments, and do you think they should leave San Diego?
Okay, well, anybody who's watched my show for any period of time knows that for years, I am a big fan of the city of San Diego. I love, actually last night, Ann and I just made plans for our next San Diego trip. We love San Diego. But I have said for years, I think they need to move out of San Diego. And one of the reasons, which we'll get to in a second here, but the comments of Comic-Con is very, very relevant here. Because, you know, if you're putting on a convention, you got to think about your attendees' experience. When a Motel 6 is charging like $1,000 a night, that hurts your convention. It got so bad that a couple of years ago, people couldn't even book. If you were going to Comic-Con, you couldn't even book a hotel. You know what you had to do? You had to enter yourself into a lottery. And then on a particular day, you were notified, if you were one of the lucky people who got selected, that you had the privilege of overpaying for a hotel room. It was crazy. And now they're finally saying, look, we've had enough. And after 2025, which is when their contract expires, they're looking at moving. And I say good on them. They should move. I've been saying this forever. I didn't even tell you where they should move to. Las Vegas. And I'll tell you why. Here are 5 reasons why San Diego Comic-Con should become Las Vegas Comic. They should move SDCC over to Las Vegas. All right. Here we go. Reason number 1. I don't know if you've ever been to Comic-Con. It's a nightmare inside the convention center. There were literally years that I went to Comic-Con that I didn't step foot inside the convention center because it's insane. You are literally walking like this, catching everybody's, Comic-Con crud and all this kind of stuff. Crud. It is impossible. Like walking 15 feet, you get covered in the sweat of 5 other nerds. It's insane. Well, John, maybe the other nerds are getting your nerd sweat. Yeah, maybe some of that too. That just proves the point. But there's not enough space. There's not enough room. The Las Vegas Convention Center is literally, not figuratively, 3 times the size. The Las Vegas Convention Center is a monstrosity. It's huge. You can literally fit 3 San Diego convention centers inside of the Las Vegas Convention Center. Way more room, way more spread out, a lot more individual rooms for more panels, more overflow space, bigger rooms so more people can get into the panels that they want to see. And by the way, just as a little addendum to point 1, you also, within a hopscotch and a jump from the convention center, you've got T-Mobile Arena and you've got Allegiant Stadium, the new Death Star, where the Raiders play football. It's gorgeous.
And both of those are covered, right?
They're both covered.
So they don't have to worry about the whole drone thing, stealing information.
Drones, weather, anything like they're air conditioned.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
Right. So you got those things too for your Hall H areas, where again, one of the big problems with Comic-Con is the number 1 attraction of Comic-Con is the Hall 8 presentations. You got 150,000 people going to Comic-Con and less than 5% of the people going can actually fit in Hall H. That's a problem. That's a problem. Anyway, so the number 1 reason they should move to Las Vegas is they literally have a 3 times larger convention center and better subsequent facilities. All right. The second reason I think they should move Comic-Con is this may sound like a little thing, but it's a major thing. There are many more places to eat. One of the constant battles whenever we were at Comic-Con is, all right, lunchtime, we're hungry. Let's start our 4-mile walk. Because that's how far you got to go if you want to get to somewhere that doesn't have a 2-hour line. Because one of the things I love about San Diego is all the great places to eat in the Gaslamp District. The Gaslamp District is one of the coolest places in the world to hang out. I love it. But you got 150,000 people and they all want to eat, and there just are not enough restaurants for people to eat in unless you're going to walk a significant distance away or understand you're going to have to wait forever. In Las Vegas, every head turn, your eyes are going to fall on 17 different restaurants, and some of the best restaurants in the world. So far more places to eat, and that actually becomes a major thing. All right. Number 3, much better inner city transportation. Las Vegas, for decades, has built itself and designed itself for easy transportation around the city. I have been to CES, the Consumer Electronics Show, which is bigger than ComicCon. And you go into Las Vegas during CES, you wouldn't even know anything special was going on. You want to catch a cab from point A to point B or an Uber from point B to point C? No problem. I remember this one year, I actually booked this big house that was about 5 miles away from the convention center. We would just Uber in. But there were so many days that we would Uber get close to the gas lamp district, but then everything was just gridlock. And we would literally have to get out of the cab or out of that and walk the last 1.5 miles or 2 miles. I mean, it was really, really crazy. You couldn't actually get to where you wanted to go to. In Las Vegas, no problem. The inner city transportation is so well laid out, such a finely oiled machine, that it just works way better than San Diego does.
Is this monorail that I have up, is that working now? Is that there?
Oh, I don't know. I've never used the Las Vegas monorail
because
they've got them that go in between some of the hotels and everything too, but I've never used it.
Yeah, because you can see up here in this image, it's like the upper right is the convention center, which connects to the monorail.
Yep, and they have tons of shuttles and public transportation and Uber and cabs, and they know how to get there easily. Now, because there is a trolley in San Diego, there is a trolley that can hold 40 people, whatever. But anyway, there's that. All right. So number 1, a 3-time larger convention center. Number 2, many more places to eat. Number 3, much better intercity transportation. Number 4, it's just a lot easier getting to Las Vegas. Obviously, I've never had a hard time getting to Las Vegas. I just get in the car and drive there. No big deal. From here, I can be there in an hour and a half. When I lived in Burbank, I could be there in about 2.5 hours, 2.5 to 3 hours. No big deal. But for a lot of people, getting to San Diego can sometimes be a bit of a trick, depending on where you're coming from. Connecting flights, all that kind of stuff. Las Vegas, I don't know this for a fact, and maybe somebody can look it up and correct me, but I bet from buttfuck Indiana, you could probably catch the little single runway airport. I bet you anything, they've got a direct flight to Vegas. Everywhere has a direct flight to Vegas. It's just a lot easier getting to Las Vegas than it is from anywhere else. So that's a minor one. Granted, this point is more of a minor one, but I've heard so many nightmare stories from people at Comic-Con about just getting there was a pain in the ass. This makes it a lot easier. All right. Number 5, and this gets really germane to our point here. Infinitely more hotel rooms. And this is the main kind of spire of the argument, at least given this with what Comic-Con is saying. Again, I reference back again to when I went to Vegas for CES, which again is bigger than Comic-Con, way more people. I booked my hotel 48 hours before I went. I paid the regular price. I think I paid about $125, $125 for a night for a room. I think I stayed in Aria. And no sweat, no problem. You know why? Because it's Las Vegas. Last I checked, they had somewhere in the neighborhood of 175,000 hotel rooms in that town. A convention like CES comes into town, Las Vegas doesn't even break a sweat. Like, it's not even a hiccup. Like, oh yeah, okay. Because I remember I was in Las Vegas once when they were doing the NFL draft. Hundreds of thousands of people came into that. And at the same time, listen, I'm not a rodeo guy, but I guess some big rodeo, like the national championships rodeo, because everywhere I bloody went in Las Vegas that weekend, there was either somebody wearing an NFL jersey or a bloody cowboy hat with a 17-inch belt buckle. So people were there for the NFL draft and for this giant rodeo thing and some obstetrician convention and this and that. And you know what? Vegas never blinked. never blinked. Yeah, come on in. We got plenty of rooms. Yeah, we don't have to jack up our room prices to $900 a night.
Yeah. Plus, there's plenty of off-strip options too. So, like, even if you don't want to pay like the premium prices of the strip, there's so many nice places just off-strip that are even cheaper.
Yeah.
Yeah, you know what? By the way, anybody going to Vegas? There's this really great little hotel just off the strip, like a block over, called Portofino. And all the rooms are suites. I think we paid like $80
I think I
a
stayed
night.
there.
I wouldn't doubt it.
Because I remember we got a suite and we're like, you got to be kidding me. This place is nice.
Yeah, it's like a block over from the strip. It's great. But the key thing here is that means anybody who wants to go can go, and you're not going to have to mortgage your future to go. You're not going to have to save up $4,000 just to pay for your hotels when you go. It makes it so you got a 3 times the size convention center, which means double the people can go, and you're still going to have more breathing room. You're going to have much easier time getting there, much easier time getting around town, a much easier time finding something to eat, and you're not going to have to spend your life savings to get a hotel room or enter a lottery to get one.
Yeah.
Guys, we want to take a second to thank a sponsor of today's episode, Liquid IV. You know, the Summer Olympics are here. I cannot wait for basketball, track and field. Hell, they've even got breakdancing in France this year. And with the Summer Olympics in full swing, hydration is key for athletes and fans. Liquid IV is extraordinary hydration for physical endurance, mental clarity, and overall well-being. A single stick of Liquid IV delivers better hydration than water alone, with 3 times the electrolytes of the leading sports drink, plus 8 vitamins and nutrients. One of the things I love about Liquid IV is how easy it is for me to prepare. All I have to do is tear, pour, and enjoy. In the heat of the summer, whether you're out golfing, out walking, or just sitting on the back patio, you need to stay hydrated, and that's where Liquid IV comes in clutch. Liquid IV is the #1 powdered hydration brand in America, and it comes in 4 delicious sugar-free flavors: white peach, green grape, raspberry melon, and lemon lime. So turn your ordinary water into extraordinary hydration with Liquid IV. Get 20% off your first order of Liquid IV when you go to liquidiv.com and use the code CAMPEA at checkout. That's 20% off your first order when you shop Better Hydration today using promo code CAMPEA at liquidiv.com. Over the years, whenever I've had these discussions with people about maybe moving ComicCon, I have never heard one legitimate statistical reason why I should stay in San Diego, other than I like San Diego.
It's nostalgia.
Yeah,
That's a
I also just like, but I live in LA. It's so close.
It's
but
not-
there's really no reason.
It's that, but also like nostalgia.
Yeah.
You know,
Yep, there's nostalgia and there's preference, but preference is not a factual reason.
once that becomes the new normal, then you're not worried about. After that year, you're no longer worried about San Diego. When you're given the benefits of what you can get in Vegas, you know, and like things like Hall H, which is going to be like so much more accessible.
Yeah.
No more like sleeping overnight or whatever. No.
No, the math is mathing. I'm just really sad because it's just so easy. I have friends in San Diego, so I don't even have to get a hotel. But
And no, and I'm there. Listen. You go to San Diego Comic-Con, there's something so cool about being around the convention center, walking along the harbor and the bay, looking at all the giant mega yachts,
It's pretty.
seeing
It's
the
beautiful.
aircraft carrier.
Pretty.
You know,
weather is great usually.
it's been great, but they've outgrown it.
The strip is really cool too, though.
Yeah, the strip, this world class.
And there's a lot of people that have never gone to Comic-Con, but at the same time have never been to Vegas.
Yeah.
And so this is like, oh my God, like this is gonna be great.
Now,
Vegas,
somebody
Vegas,
else in the live
yeah.
chat is asking a very good question. Why not LA? LA's a much bigger city. You know why?
It could be
LA is not built for
No, that
conventions like this.
traffic already. Oh,
Nope.
Yeah,
no.
there's
You do
already-
not have you don't have, first of all, yes, LA has a big giant convention center and there are hotels around it. They don't have nothing compared to what Vegas has right there.
Yeah.
It's much easier to get around. And now, the one drawback of a Comic-Con in Las Vegas, and one of the big benefits of San Diego, the weather.
Yeah.
Yeah, you would have to change.
Although it's been
Different
really
month.
humid in San Diego before, and that can
Really?
stop. Oh,
Some-
Some, but even when it's been really humid, it's been like 82.
Yeah.
You know, 80, often in the mid 70s, right?
Except for the year that I had to trek everywhere for AMC, I was sweating bullets. It was so
Yeah,
hot.
that
you would
would
have to change. You would have to change the dates. If
A
you were
little
going to
bit.
go to Vegas,
Not
to
really,
visit.
but-
First of all, there's like kids in these outfits
Yeah.
that are going to be walking on the strip like in 110 degree
Well,
weather.
you gotta
no,
do that.
That's going to be a problem.
But that's a misnomer. Here's why.
You can connect.
When
and-
I go to NAB, which is the National Association of Broadcasters, something me and like Dennis Zen like go to every single year. I love NAB, and it happens at the convention center. From the moment I wake up in my hotel room, get my Uber, get to the convention center, I spend a grand total of about 15 seconds outside.
Yeah.
I mean, like, so Ann and I go like 7 times a year to Vegas, right? This last trip we went to just a couple weeks ago hit 118 degrees in Las Vegas. You know how much I noticed it? None.
Yeah.
You know why? Because I didn't go outside. and when I was outside, I made sure it was for a minimal amount of time.
Yeah. If you get caught on that track, Ray's right. Like you could be in some serious trouble, especially if you're dressed up.
Yeah.
But you gotta add a little
I'm just thinking about the kids. I mean, sometimes
Well, the
they
kids
make-
aren't walking by
don't make
themselves.
decisions. Don't make decisions that we could walk there. We could do this.
Yeah.
And then they
Yeah.
find out real quick,
Well, they're gonna find out quick.
Yeah.
quick when their face is in the dirt and they need money. They need money. They need water.
money.
They need water.
What
They
did
need
you
water.
do in Vegas for money, Ray?
They need water.
What did you do
However,
in Vegas for money?
I will say this though: if you always have an option to go left or right into a hotel lobby and cool down real
Yeah,
quick.
by the way, Jeff Nicholas in the live chat, very good point. Said nerds are classic indoor folk. Yes,
very
yes.
true.
And you know what? Yeah, maybe on day one you think, oh, I can walk from the
Yeah, you'll learn
Venetian
real
to
quick.
think,
Ray's right.
They'll find out real fast. No, we can't. They're going to duck into the next hotel, which is 15 feet away, and they're going to call a cab.
Yeah.
Now, but again, I absolutely acknowledge the heat in Vegas that time of
Oh,
year
yeah.
is a factor.
Yeah.
But it's one easily circumvented.
You know, it would sound great. Like a Comic-Con in May. April, May.
I like April
Real
even
nice.
better.
Yeah.
April's even
Real
better.
nice.
Vegas, April, even
If you're gonna,
yeah.
if you don't want to take the whole thing away from San Diego, give them their Comic-Con, but then do all the movie stuff, the big Hall H's. Do that in a bigger venue.
Yeah.
A lot more people want to see this stuff that they don't get to see. A lot of people buy a ticket just on the hope that they could get into this Hall Hope. Is what we're calling it.
Dashed hope.
They get
Dashed hope.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Because nobody gets, you know what? Allegiant Stadium,
There is no hope.
65,000 people. You can get like half the attendees of Comic-Con can
And I
fit
mean,
into
wouldn't
Allegiant
the
Stadium.
studios and the actors love that energy?
Oh, it would be.
I mean-
can you imagine? First of all, Hall H energy is great, but can you imagine? Ray, think back with me here. In a Allegiant Stadium with, by the way, 65,000. That's if you don't have chairs on the floor. Chairs on the floor, you probably got like 72,000 people can fit in there. So Kevin Feige on stage in front of 72,000 people. He says, "Oh, one more thing. Mahershala Ali is Blade." And can you imagine what the pop? What the pop?
There was better moments in Comic-Con history than that one. So
Well,
I don't know
hey,
why I have to bring
can-
that one up.
Can you imagine when Tom Hiddleston,
Yeah, as Loki.
one of the most iconic moments in CinemaCon history, Tom Hiddleston comes out on stage in full Loki regalia.
I've never gone to a Hall H, but the closest I could compare it to is when we go to CinemaCon and
Yep.
Kevin Feige comes out. I just imagine that room, a bigger room,
Oh yeah.
filled with nerds.
Yeah, it's-
with the announcements that they make there, it would just be insane.
Yeah.
If that would ever happen, but it's not going to happen in San Diego. Not in that small little room.
No.
You're not going to get that impact. You're not going to get the buzz going anymore in that small
Not to
room.
mention what they can take advantage in terms of showmanship in those stadiums with like the lighting effects and all that stuff. That Hall H just is not.
They can make it a rock concert.
That's the thing,
and
it's
it
already
will
set
be
up.
Insane.
And it made sense before, right? When Marvel wasn't as big, DC, whatever.
And when Comic-Con
these
wasn't
things
as big.
have
Yeah.
outgrown this location.
yeah.
100%.
And next year, DC with their showcase, it's not going to fit in there. People want to see what James Gunn has to
Dude,
wants
here's the
to
thing.
bring.
Okay, my people, the nerds,
My people.
my people. We save up all year. A lot of these kids save up all year, book flights, can't buying their passes, winning a lottery, and getting a hotel room. Yay. And they travel in the hopes that they get to go to Hall H, only to get there and find out in days past that they literally had to stand in a line for 48 hours in the hope of getting this magical wrist bracelet that says you have won the chance to get a seat in Hall H. It's time to move past it. Anyway,
Yeah,
we
thinking of.
spent way too much time on this. We're going to move on. Guys, question is for you. What do you think about this? Comic-Con is now saying, listen, with the hotel price gouging, we're thinking about moving out. I believe I've laid out a very solid argument about why they should move this thing to Las Vegas.
Oh, you missed one. There's a sixth one too.
Which one's that?
Well, prostitutes no longer have to travel to San Diego. They're right there and established.
Okay, as funny as that sounds, for those of you who don't know what Jonathan's referring to, a study was done, and Comic-Con is the #1 transitory time of year. More prostitutes travel across the country into San Diego. Why? Because my nerds aren't under their mom's roof, or they're away from their buddies.
For big bucks.
And they
Nerd
think
money is
this
money.
is the time that I can become a man in Las Vegas. They're already
funny.
there. No problem. Anyway, guys, questions for you. What do you think about all this? Jump down to the comment section below and let us know your thoughts. Hey guys, thanks so much for watching this video. Make sure you like the video, leave a comment, and subscribe to our channel. And don't forget, we have a daily podcast called the John Campea Show podcast, available on Apple Podcasts, Spotify, or your favorite podcasting app of choice. Go and subscribe to it today so it'll be there when you need it.